Hey everyone. So I made some chai tea and it came in like a Keurig cup, and I had tried chai tea a little bit once or twice, but that was a couple years ago. And anyway, so I tried some of this stuff in a Keurig, and this, I don't know. It's like when you're in the mood for coffee, nothing else is the same, and just chai tea just doesn't hit the same. So I went ahead and made myself a cup of Paul Newman's, good old Paul Newman's. Um, anyway, this is Justice League Annual number 2, and it's written by um, Robert. That's what it is, Venditti, and he's a pretty popular writer, and I think he wrote the Joker, something with the Joker. I don't know. I've just heard his name a lot around the DC realm. Um, so anyway, I saw this. I read the synopsis of it, and it sounded pretty interesting. So I went ahead and picked it up. Um, I'm not a huge fan of the cover, and like this has been lying on my desk for a couple days now, probably actually about a week, and what is this? There in the middle, it's like the Hall of Justice, and then something there, and then a chalk outline. I really like how the heroes are drawn. That looks really cool. But just that big red thing, I don't know, just it's kind of an annoying cover in my opinion. So it starts off with Batman calling in Superman, Wonder Woman, John Stewart, and Flash to this crime scene. And as he's doing that, it's giving a brief description. So it says Bruce Wayne, Dark Knight, detective, Clark Kent, investigative journalist, Wonder Woman, Diana of Themyscira, occult authority, John Stewart, intergalactic police officer, and Barry Allen, forensic science expert. And they all get to the crime scene, and there's a body here, and Bruce says, like I said, a unique crime scene. So there's a body inside of the Hall of Justice, and they're trying to figure out how it got there. So let's see, Romulo Fajardo Jr. did the cover. So yeah, I mean, I like how he draws these characters. I just don't like the weird red thing. Um, so, um, they're kind of baffled because how did this happen? The Hall of Justice is supposed to be the most secure building on planet Earth. So they lock down the Hall of Justice, and they go to look at the security footage because Flash is like no traces of paralytics or other drugs. Rigor mortis hasn't set in. Lividity is just beginning to occur. Dead 2 hours at most. So they look up the security footage from then, and there's some missing surveillance footage, timestamped at when this murder would have occurred, and there's like a minute 43 seconds missing. So they're like, well, who could have come in a minute 43 seconds and killed this guy? And so they start running down the list of rogue galleries. They start with speedsters, and Flash starts counting them off. He's like, there's Reverse Flash, Zoom, Savitar, and then Wonder Woman is like, well, there's my cousin Hermes, but this isn't his brand of trickery. And Flash says, yeah, we're lousy with speedsters. You'd think bad guys could be more original. And it is true. There are a crap ton of speedster criminals, bad guys, which is one of the things that I got annoyed with the Flash TV show. It was like, season 1, Reverse Flash. Season 2, Zoom, Season 3, Savitar. It's like, gosh, can't you guys come up with a more original villain than just Flash as a bad guy? Come on. And Green Lantern scans the scene with his power ring and it doesn't detect any Speed Force energy. Batman's like, well, what about magic? And Wonder Woman's like, spellcraft requires time and precision. It isn't easily rushed. And as they are discussing this, the Hall of Justice begins lockdown without being told to lock down. Without Batman ordering a lockdown. So, first, the Zod Protocol is initiated, and that floods the Hall of Justice with red solar radiation, since, of course, that takes away Superman's powers, because his powers come from a yellow sun. Also, it's like, he has this stupid long, like, piece of hair throughout this entire book. Like, there it is again. There it is again. Like, what? It's just so long. And Flash tries to phase out, but the reverse Flash defense comes online and slams into the door and busted his ribs. Then Green Lantern tries to use his power ring, but then the Sinestro failsafe is activated. And Wonder Woman is about to come in with her sword, and the Pantheon wards are holding. Anyway, she's stopped by Batman. He's like, chill. The microscopic wards etched into the walls are active. Contact with anyone connected to magic or myth will be repelled violently. I wonder how that technology works. Like, how do you specify somebody from myth or magic? So anyway, Barry comes up with a plan to, like, have Green Lantern ram a battering into this panel, which opens the door. So Batman and Wonder Woman are going to go to the mainframe, and Superman, Green Lantern, and Flash are going to go to the, what do they call it? Yellow, basically the radiation chamber that's going to give Superman back his powers. And while they're leaving, the body just disintegrates, and so they're like, well, that's weird. Maybe so he couldn't do a proper autopsy, and then Batman's like, or maybe it's not a real body, or it's just some kind of organic construct. But anyway, solar healing chamber, what they called it. Anyway, they continue on with this plan, but they're stopped pretty quick by these two robots. Green Lantern gives Superman this Green Lantern, or this, he makes a suit for Superman with his ring. So they start fighting these robots, and they're not really, like, putting a scratch in them. So Green Lantern has this idea, and he's like, I need 2 targets. Stand still. And so Batman's like, how's this? And Superman's there too, again, with this, like, freaking long strand of hair. It's like in a question mark now. So Batman and Superman dodge out of the way. Superman creates this, like, funnel construct, like almost like, pipes, and you can see, like, goes up and twists around and goes out one end, and the other one wraps around that and goes out the other end. So he redirects the lasers and blows up the bots. And then they go back to going to, these two going to the mainframe, these 3 going to heal Superman. And then their next set of challenges comes from, so they're in the garage, the vehicles come to life, and then Batman and Wonder Woman get attacked by these nanobots, and they're like crawling up inside Batman's mouth and nose. Jeez. So Batman has this pulse grenade, which zaps these bots and kills them. And while they're in the garage, Flash, they're being chased by a supermobile, and it looks like a Superman ship or plane of some kind. And Flash says, "Why do you even need a supermobile? You already fly." And Superman says, "It was a different time." Of course, these are things from the Silver Age, probably. You know, the '60s, where things got a little goofy in the comic book world. Um, but I just thought that was funny and a nice throwback to why do you need a supermobile? You already fly. So they escape and get Superman to the healing chamber, and as they arrive, Batman contacts them because he's figured out finally who's been attacking them after these nanobots attacked. And he like spits out a mouthful, but he's like, "Superman, how close are you?" And Batman says, "I have to get to my lab. We haven't been fighting the Hall, have we, Eradicator?" So apparently, I don't know much about Eradicator. He came in and was the main Justice League villain after I dropped the book, so I don't really know that much about him. But apparently, he can take control of technology and is like this supercomputer. So he activates like this Doomsday Protocol, which is like a self-destruct mode for the Hall of Justice. So the entire Hall of Justice takes off, which, I mean, there's more to the Hall of Justice than that. So, like, there's a whole basement and everything, so I don't know where all that's supposed to be. But anyway, Superman gets his powers back, and Batman cuts the engines, and Wonder Woman disconnects the Eradicator from the computer. And, you know, as the Hall of Justice is plummeting back towards Earth, Superman catches it again with his freaking long strand of hair, and sets it back down perfectly. That's pretty much it. Superman and Wonder Woman are talking, and basically there's like a kumbaya moment where they're like, the Eradicator didn't know how to process scenarios where we worked as a team because he only knows how to work alone, so that's why we won. And Wonder Woman says, "Trusting ourselves and each other will always be our best defense. No program can ever replicate it. Don't you agree, Batman?" And I just love how Batman doesn't even answer. Like, yeah, no. So apparently all that's left of Eradicator is his head. So anyway, he puts it like in this box, and it's kind of like the scene from Indiana Jones: Raiders of the Lost Ark, where there's all these boxes full of stuff, and that's where it ends. So I mean, annuals are kind of like this, where it's like a self-contained story, meant just more for fun, I guess, and maybe it loosely connects with the main storyline. Like Eradicator, like I said, was one of the main villains for a while. But it doesn't really connect with anything else. It's more of a standalone story just for fun. I mean, for $5, I guess I got my entertainment out of it. I don't know if I'll ever read it again because it wasn't a super groundbreaking story or anything. But yeah, that was it. I will say, if like this was like a Marvel comic, I probably would have been more bored. It's just that because I'm a DC fan, it's more interesting to me. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys for watching. See you in the next video.